Say the line, Bart.
Hey, do you remember Skylanders?
Yeah!
For 3 years straight, Skylanders have been heard in the gaming sphere with its unique genre of toys for life, but their third year garnered some problems. Disney Infinity has now released with it expecting a sequel. It was becoming costly to collect Skylanders, and saturation as a brand was scourging amongst audience. Skylanders had died and Activision did what felt right. I just snorted a fucking Uncrustable in the back with Jim and we're ready for a goddamn sequel, baby! Here we go again, now at the 4th installment, Skylanders Trap Team. Because nothing's stopping this party unless it rhymes with fun. Trap Team was developed by Toys for Bob again, with Vicarious Visions holding the fort for a year with Swap Force. And you can tell the difference between the two companies by how Chompies are back to black pupils. I'll always remember you, my love. A majority enjoyed Trap Team with it being Tob's Mona Lisa. So was it truly the boost Skylanders need to get back to the limelight?
Hang on! Let it go! I got you, brother. Oh no, you don't! What are you doing? Stop!
There was no saving Skylanders at this point, especially since Disney Infinity came out with a bang, and now they had Marvel during the hypest moment in history. So how did Trap Team react to this? My nipple, ow. Trap Team introduced these little babies, the new gimmick to Skylanders where you can capture enemies to the side of good. It's a unique gimmick and one that rivals Swap Force, yet there is a catch. The catch is your wallet and the gimmick is your broke. Skylanders Trap Team is the most expensive game in the series. I have mentioned how it was getting costly to collect Skylanders, so when Trap Team came around, clearly they didn't see what people were complaining about.
That sign can't stop me because I can't read.
So let's see why Trap Team is the most expensive game while being a highly rated game in the Skylanders series.
They're coming for me. No! Stay back!
Wait, where'd you get that piano?
Now, some time ago, a group of villains called the Doom Raiders caused havoc until the Trap Team turned off their body cams and gently subdued them to Cloudcracker Prison, where now in the present, Chaos has the masterful plan of releasing them, Mission Impossible style. Meanwhile, back at the newly opened Skylanders Academy, a commotion disrupts the ceremony, and Buzz with the Skylanders discover all the villains have been released from the prison. And now the Skylanders must stop the Doom Raiders from conquering Skylands. Trap Team is still staying simple to their stories, as we aren't going to get an Odyssey for a Skylanders plot. I mean, if you really think about it, the island that Chompy Mage resided on is kinda like the island of Cersei.
That's why I think I am. Cause I don't pray, I just behave. Cause saints and sinners are quite the same.
An aspect that worked well in my opinion is how they put Chaos on the back burner again, focusing on the new gang of villains. I mean, their personality traits are as thin as paper. Wolfgang is edgy, Golden Queen is evil, and Kraken Case likes paninis on a Sunday morning. Only the evilest kinds of people eat paninis on a Sunday morning. But they fill the roster as new additions of baddies to compete against. That is refreshing to get some fresh foes instead of Chaos. Funny enough, he actually gets booted out of the Villains Club and joins the Skylanders.
I think we look hot. Totally hot.
Ugly bitches!
Moo!
Having Chaos on the good side for once was pretty funny, seeing how he truly hates it, but he is trying. I appreciate Trap Team trying to break out of the norm to replace Chaos with new villains that challenge the Skylanders in new ways. Chaos is the final boss, isn't he?
Oh no! It's the Skylanders! They're here. Okay, I give up. Fooled you! That's a good one! It does!
Yeah, Chaos is the final boss again, Top's biggest rabbit out of the ass to continue the trend. But for the time we had with the Doom Raiders, I felt it was well enough to magically wazoo Chaos back to the limelight like a back alley magician. Hello, do you want to see a magic trick? Ready? Whip, zip, waloo! Now check behind your ear. But the cast of characters this time around are kinda bleak. We have Buzz, who is basically Old Man Flynn, and Max, the country gizmo girl. Sadly, these two new additions didn't do much for me. Especially Buzz, that is basically a rehash of Flynn, with Trap Team having more of a focus on him helping the Skylanders and humor in the plot. Yet surprisingly, for once, Flynn didn't feel so in your face this time, with his screen time being pretty low by his older replacement. Since the beginning, Flynn has been such a prominent force in the plot and humor, but they finally just let him be there, and that's all. I feel both joy and betrayed. Oh, what are these feelings? Oh. Flynn may have gotten the short end of the stick, but holy shit, Callie actually got screen time again. I mean, it's not a lot, but I take whatever after being deprived of the OG buddies. So if Callie got her comeback, surely Hugo would get his, right?
You're just in time to see Buzz's speech. We are back at it again in the Skylands, baby, with another 4 more figures added to each element. The new characters are pretty cool, with them getting the same treatment as the previous generation. These Skylanders didn't get to suckle off or Master Eon's teeth longer to have a grander moveset, as TT Skylanders stick to the status quo established in Swap Force. Well, you hear that, Dunebug? We can put aside our differences and you're good to go. But I'm a very spiteful person still. There wasn't many Skylanders in Trap Team that captured that hectic magic I look for, but for what we got, it makes do. Especially since this was the generation of 2 new elements, light and dark, that brought 4 new Skylanders in total. And this is how I get the bitches. They didn't bring a lot to the table, with Nightmare and Nightlight being fun powerhouses, and Spotlight and Blackout having really cool designs. I feel like a kid has based his entire personality on Blackout and finally outgrew it with Fortnite at like 20. You know who you are. But the gimmick Skylanders this time around are the Trap Masters. But you weren't dealing with your average Skylanders, as these bad boys have something that others can't do. They have glowy thingies.
But that's really dumb. But he's so cool! But that's so dumb!
Trap Masters have the ability of increased strength towards bosses, shattering Traptamium crystals, and opening elemental gates that other Skylanders cannot. If you look closely, you can see the excitement in my face. They don't really offer much aside for raw damage. Kind of falling in line with giant Skylanders, but without the flair. But Trap Team made them the main focus of the game, as they are preferably the Skylanders you want to use, cause the others were bitches. There's also baby bitches and golden bitches. Baby Skylanders and Eon Elites were introduced in Trap Team. Baby Skylanders have always been a thing since Spyro's Adventure from a Frito-Lay promotion. I remembered when that whole like Frito promotion thing came out, I wanted Trigger Snappy so damn bad that I bugged my parents to get as much Fritos to see if I can win them, and sadly I just never did. And I don't know if it's because I have really bad luck or if I just ate it by accident. These cute little variants are just baby forms of classic Skylanders. Look, I know Small Fry is no different than Fryno, but he has a tiny motorcycle license and a PhD, so put some respect on that title. Meanwhile, we have Eon Elites that are more powerful versions of the classics to give them that edge in Trap Team. See, this one says that you have a tiny wiener. Man, sad. But this one says that you have a big wiener. Oh yeah, perfect. Eon Elite figures have more of a color vibrance to them and a gold base than their OG design, but in game I was disappointed that they weren't different in any shape or form. They still look the same, upgrade the same, and shit the same. Only difference is that they do the big hurdies. I mean, at this point I'm not surprised, as series variants are the same shtick, with an extra move for more oomph. But the Baby and Eon Elite variants are basically the OG Skylanders, but with minor tweaks. Also, who the fuck keeps making Gilgrunt variants? I haven't mentioned this, but for the last 5 games, Gilgrunt has had some new figure, as Gilgrunt is the only Skylander since the series variants debut in Giants to live to the very end, and this fucker even got a Baby and Eon Elite. Jesus Christ. They're spreading. But Trap Masters aren't the true gimmick to Trap Team, because the real gimmick is... perfect. Trapping villains is the gimmick of the game, and it is spectacular. Giant Skylanders were effective, swapping Skylanders were inventive, but capturing an enemy then playing them is just pure perfection. You could tell Tom knew this was their hypest gimmick by the shitload of promotion they did, and it was for a good reason. The villains play like actual Skylanders, with basic enemies having 2 moves and the head honchos having 3 moves. And these moves are pretty legit with damage and uniqueness. I was using a freaking Death Saucer with Rage Mage, and yet my fate was the same by how shit it controls.
Daddy, I don't want to be on Namek anymore.
The villains have a time limit to them, so they're like an assist to throw in to tank damage until the timer is out so you can let them recharge and throw them in again. You can upgrade them by doing quirky little tasks, as citizens and Skylanders will need a villain to solve an issue. Because only Bone Chompy's medical skills can save this war. But when you upgrade them, they get a new palette change, increased damage, and a longer timer. Trap Team made sure the villains were on par with Skylanders in use, and it shows by how solid their movesets are. Except Slobberjaw? Why are you like this? Some of my favorites have to be Pepperjack for area damage, Blastertron for his sick-ass design, and ya boy, Buzzerbeak!
Bird up.
I love this concept because it is that out-of-the-box fun I seek, and I've always had a kink for playing villains. Like, one of my favorite all-time Kirby abilities is Ghost from Squeak Squad. I am probably the only person that will ever say that, so I will proudly take that medal, please. Right here. Also, when you play a villain, they have their own theme song. I adore this because some of these jingles are earworms that depict their personality, especially how pompous Chill Bill's theme is, that literally turned into a meme and even got used in a damn KFC holiday chicken wrap commercial.
KFC's 2 for $5 wraps are back in classic, spicy slaw, and new mac and cheese.
The song has restored my strength.
Now, it doesn't go without problem, as TT had minor bumps. Ha! Better try harder next time.
A few moments later.
Ah! Stop, please! Are they gone? Traptanium traps are the only way to capture villains, and then they will be playable whenever you put it in. Yet this is where the greedy execs appear from the shadows to plunder our asses, as these crystals at the time costed $6 just to enjoy the gimmick of Trap Team. Yeah, you can switch a villain out on a singular crystal, yet when you enjoy one villain but you want to play as the newly trapped villain, you gotta scrap them and then pick them up later to use. Meaning, for leisure and collectability, you'd have to buy a shit ton of crystals just to capture each villain. This right here is my Roman Empire. I guess at the time a measly $6 isn't that painful except a Burger King run, but when you look at the prices today for the traps, they are honestly ridiculous to collect, especially since Chaos has to have his own unique trap to capture him, and the light and dark elemental traps were rarer to find. That is just so delightful when you see the prices today. But I will digress and say that my favorite aspect of the traps is how the portal and whoever is in the portal will communicate to you from a speaker. Yeah, sometimes it can get annoying, and this is clearly not the game to play at bedtime when mother is lurking. Yet Trap Team went that extra mile to bring that Toys to Life magic with more connectivity to the villain. Like, I won't deny, it's kind of fun having a personal Chaos.
Attention fools! Here comes chaos!
Are you fucking...
Now, when it comes to the level design, they didn't really push the ticket that much. TT does have entertaining levels with a good amount of sugar and spice. The platforming was competent with exploration and puzzle solving, but Trap Team suffers from what Giants did by basically being a rehash of the past, but this one has a freckle on their ass cheek. I understand in an annual release this wouldn't be a problem, but when you see all the games laid out, the issues are a visible brown streak.
But if there's anything that Trap Team excels greatly in, it has to be the boss fights. Boss fights got a major shift this generation, as Top put a lot of focus on making them challenging but fun. The small villain fights are the mini bosses to the level, but the big Bambonis is where they stepped it up. When fighting the Doom Raiders, the spectacle level is at its highest, with Trap Team challenging players in different ways, such as Dreamcatcher having fallen platforms, Wolfgang having 2D battle intermissions, and Golden Queen being city escape. I'm happy Toys for Bob was putting more effort into their boss fights by Trap Team. I feel like this was an underutilized aspect to Skylanders that I'm excited to see where the future of boss fights are going, and so far Trap Team is holding the reins. Meanwhile, the themes in these levels are vibrant and unique. From the sewers of Skylands to the epilepsy attack that is Skyscraper Tower, there is something for everyone. Trap Team is still tackling new themes to keep the world of Skylanders fresh. They do reuse the same environments like a floral treetops level, but this one's got birds. But I felt giddy seeing each and new location we were adventuring in Trap Team because I love seeing unique variations of common themes, like a spooky haunted bayou out in the middle of nowhere.
Look, that's just Florida at night.
If there is something that I did miss, it was seeing more of the culture of Skylands. I am a sucker for lore that Swap Force did great, yet Trap Team just kept it simple to the core cast and villains. I guess being able to finally play as a villain type we've seen from previous generation is Tob's way to accommodate for lore, but I still wish we could have seen more. Then for side content, we have Chaos Mode, a tower defense mode where you defeat enemies round by round to protect your chest while you have elemental weapons to help defend. Wait, this is just monkey defense, isn't it?
Look, I think if we all just take a couple of deep breaths here and just try to... Fuck!
I honestly viewed Chaos Mode for a means to level up, as the money flow is strong within this one. But Trap Team made sure it wouldn't be easy because these goddamn pinata fucks are my own little personal hell. Something that's kind of cool is that sometimes you need a giant to unlock the weapon. Ooh, don't you feel special? Yeah, previous Skylanders got raw dogged again. As the Eon Elite and Baby Skylanders basically replaced the SA Skylanders, then the giant's only need is to open elemental weapons for Chaos Mode, and Swap Force are just vibing. Toys for Bob gave the previous Skylanders the same love as they are playable in Trap Team, but the past gimmick Skylanders are now becoming abysmal, and the fact that giants got pushed to side content really shows what Tob thinks of them.
You're a bitch, but I still love you.
Yet Swap Force Skylanders do keep their 2 elemental properties, but their gimmick of SWAT challenges are gone, so Tob just did what felt right.
You're a bitch, and you can't afford Spotify Premium.
Trap Team has all the qualities of a good game with a gimmick that is fun. The gameplay may be similar, but its bosses got major improvements that is fun. And the locales are unique, that is fun. But then you have to take a look at your bank statement to realize
that's not fun.
Trap Team is the most expensive game in the series. To get the full experience of Trap Team back then wasn't devastating, but still annoying. I mean, Trap Masters were about 15 bucks with core Skylanders 10 bucks and Trap 6 bucks. At the time, that is ridiculous, of course, because a Trap Master is the same price as a triple pack.
Now, to collect these figures these day and age, the prices are not that bad. I mean, they just increased like a little bit. Nothing too much. Well, I guess I'm eating water and salt again for the month. Third time in a row. But that's okay because this time I thought to treat myself with some nice air for dessert. Ah, it's delicious.
To collect Trap Team Skylanders is like catching cancer, and at least cancer is a quick run to your local 7-Eleven. This is why I say TT is the most expensive game in the series, because not only was it pricey back then, but it's ghoulish now. I don't know if Toys for Bob thought about the future of Skylanders, as you need to buy Trap Masters and Traps to get the full effect of Trap Team. When we take into fact that Light and Dark Elements only got 1 Trap Master that already makes them hella pricey, then you have the issue of waves screwing up the quantity of particular Skylanders that makes them even pricier to this day, and then Light and Dark Traps are like the cost of buying ecstasy.
You the one that wants the goodies? Yeah, I'm here for it. Do you got it? This is pure. I like it. I mentioned these issues in my Swap Force video, as by this time parents were getting turned off by the increasing prices to buy Skylanders. That then led to the lack of sales in stores, affecting the wave system of Skylanders. And then the fucking rat came and now they own Mr. Marvel.
Enough! You are all of you beneath me. I am a god, you dull creature, and I will not be bullied by that.
Now when we think of Marvel today, it's become bland, but back in 2015, Marvel was thriving. So with TT having all these figures to collect, and Disney was milking their most popular franchise, if Swap Force wasn't the death of Skylanders, Trap Team was the nail in the coffin. That now affects collectors today because you have to decide if your mortgage is better than a piece of plastic. Delicious. I mean, honestly, you can't even taste the dust. That's why history repeats itself as Skylanders enthusiasts drop off from the series because the price tag is not worth it. And it just got worse with the last 2 installments. It sucks how Trap Team lives in this weird space in Skylanders history. It's a fun game with a shit ton of characters to resonate with. Then it had another strong gimmick that attracts newcomers and keeps that toys to life magic alive while staying to the status quo. Yet it's all ruined by the amount it costs.
I'll never forgive this.
And this is the fault of Toys for Bob and Activision for making 80 more goddamn Skylanders with 40 traps needed for the villains for a market that was diminishing. And Trap Team just shows that lust for money that is disrespectful to a genuine Skylanders experience. It's honestly a bummer this is the fate of Trap Team, and it goes to show why Skylanders died as a series. But I still recommend playing it, at least with a good amount of figures, just to taste the magic of Trap Team.
But if this thing really has my heart, then it knows that it belongs with Minnie. Look inside yourself. You know it's true. That's right. You can... No, Minnie!
Trap Team is a great game that I implore you to try out. It's really fun and it's worth testing, but it is a little expensive, so just do the bare minimum because it is still an entertaining experience. But the Skylander series review is not over yet because we still have the 5th game to go. And that one you should be fired up because it's going to be one wild ride. See, look, I changed the laugh, so now you can't come at me on that one. So, like always, thank you for watching and have a great day.